You've paid $100 a month before. You just never noticed because it never asked to be noticed. It was the gym membership you used 4 times in January and then never again. Charged quietly every month for 2 years before you finally called to cancel. It was the streaming services stacked on top of each other. 3, then 4, then a 5th you forgot you had until a friend mentioned a show and you realized you'd been paying for it the whole time. It was the difference between cooking and ordering, the extra delivery fee, the tip, the convenience charge, repeated enough times across enough months that it added up to $100 without ever feeling like $100. None of that was wrong. It bought real things. A workout you didn't take, a show you didn't watch, a dinner that arrived warm at the door instead of one you'd have to make yourself. The money was spent and the spending was real, and most of it is gone now. The way spending always is, finished the moment it happened. This is about the version where it isn't gone. The decision doesn't look like a decision. It looks like a Sunday evening and a banking app open on your phone. A transfer set for $100, recurring. The 3rd of every month, moving from the account you live out of into an account you will mostly forget exists. You don't feel anything when you set it up. There's no music, no confirmation that matters, no number that changes in a way you can see. The app just says the transfer is scheduled, the same flat tone it uses to tell you a bill is due. You tell one person, a friend, in passing the way you'd mention a new gym schedule. They nod. They ask if you're sure that's enough to matter. You say, you don't know yet. That's the honest answer. You don't know yet. Month 1 moves $100 into an account and the account shows $100. There's nothing underneath that number that feels like anything. No movement, no signal, no version of progress you can point to. You check it twice in the first week, which is more than you'll check it most months later because right now the silence feels like it might mean something went wrong. Nothing went wrong. This is just what month 1 looks like. $100 sitting where $100 sits, unconvincing, indistinguishable from money that's simply parked. Week 2, the doubt shows up on schedule, quiet and practical, the kind that doesn't announce itself as doubt. Is this enough? Is this the right account? Would this $100 do something for you faster somewhere else? A savings account, a better month, a different decision entirely? You don't have the answer yet. The answer only exists 10 years from now, so you wait. And the waiting feels like nothing because right now, it is nothing. Not yet. Month 4, something breaks. A car repair, a bill that lands at the wrong time. The kind of expense that doesn't care what else is due that week. You look at the $100 transfer and you look at the bill, and for a second the math feels like a choice between 2 real things instead of 1 real thing and 1 imaginary one. You pause it, just this once. You tell yourself the decade can absorb a single skipped month, and you're right, it can. 1 month doesn't undo 10 years. But the pause does something quieter than missing $100. It proves the exception exists. It shows you, in a way you didn't know until you'd done it, that the commitment has a door. And the door opens easily, and nothing bad happens when you walk through it. That knowledge doesn't disappear. It waits for the next hard month, a little more available than it was before. You resume the transfer the following month, but you remember the door. Then the market drops, and this one is harder than the bill was. Because the bill was a single, finite expense, and this is just a number on a screen getting smaller every time you check it, for weeks, for no clear reason you can point to and fix. The account shows less than you've put into it. You have contributed real money, on schedule, every month, and the account is showing you less than that. Every instinct you've ever had about money is telling you this is what a mistake looks like. It isn't, but the feeling is louder than the fact, and the feeling doesn't care what the fact says. This month, not the strategy, not the plan. This specific, uncomfortable month is where most of these accounts actually end. Not in a dramatic withdrawal, in a quiet decision to stop, made by someone who was right about the math and still couldn't sit with the feeling. Here's what's actually happening underneath the part that feels wrong. Every $100 that lands in that account buys shares, not a fixed number of them, a number set by whatever the price happens to be that day. When prices are high, $100 buys less. When prices drop the exact month that feels like a mistake. This month, not the strategy, not the plan. This specific, uncomfortable month is where most of these accounts actually end. Not in a dramatic withdrawal, in a quiet decision to stop, made by someone who was right about the math and still couldn't sit with the feeling. Here's what's actually happening underneath the part that feels wrong. Every $100 that lands in that account buys shares, not a fixed number of them, a number set by whatever the price happens to be that day. When prices are high, $100 buys less. When prices drop, the exact month that feels like a mistake, $100 buys more. You are buying more on the months that feel worse. That isn't a coincidence built to comfort you. It's arithmetic. The drop that scared you was the system quietly working in your favor whether you understood it that month or not. Those shares earn something, small at first, a few dollars of growth too modest to register as anything. But that growth doesn't leave. It buys more shares. Those shares earn their own growth the next month, which also stays, which also buys more. This is compounding. Not as an idea you've heard about, but as a physical thing happening inside your account right now. Invisible, continuous, building underneath a surface that still looks like almost nothing. Somewhere in year 3, you notice an absence before you notice a presence. A month goes by where you don't check the account out of anxiety. You check it out of habit instead, and the number is larger than your contribution explains. Not by much. Easy to scroll past, easy to call a good month and move on. But the math is specific. You put in $100. The account grew by more than that. Something besides your transfer added to the total. That something is the growth from every earlier month, quietly reinvested, starting to produce its own returns. This is the moment the idea stops being theoretical. You felt it. It's in the number. And most people see it once, shrug, and go back to expecting the slow version they started with, never registering that the slow version just ended. By year 7, it isn't a single good month anymore. It's a pattern, repeating, hard to explain as luck. Your contribution is still $100, the same as the first transfer, 84 months ago. But the account's growth on a strong month now regularly exceeds that $100 by a wide margin. For the first 6 years, the account depended on you. You were the reason it grew. Now something has shifted, quietly, with no ceremony marking the line. The account is producing more than you're putting into it, and would keep doing that for a while even if you stopped tomorrow. Which you don't. But the fact that it could is the whole point. You crossed something. Not a balance, not a round number. A line between contributing to an account and watching an account contribute to itself. Most people who start this never reach that line. Not because the math excludes them, but because reaching it requires staying through every month that felt like a reason to stop. The 120th transfer arrives the same way the first one did. No ceremony, no flag on the calendar. $100. Same date, same account. Received without acknowledgement the way it's been received every month before it. You pull up the total. 10 years of $100 a month. Contributed without missing more than that one early month. Lands somewhere between $19,000 and $21,000, depending on what the market did across that decade. You put in $12,000. The growth added somewhere between $7,000 and $9,000 that you never earned with your time, never showed up for, never had to think about beyond the transfer itself. Sit with what that represents, not the dollar figure, the shape of it. 120 decisions, not one large act of discipline. 120 small ones, made on 120 ordinary days that included a car repair and a market drop and a friend who wasn't sure it would matter, and the quiet, reasonable temptation to send that $100 somewhere that felt better immediately. Every one of those months, you let the transfer happen anyway. Go back to where this started, the gym you stopped using, the subscriptions stacked on top of each other, the delivery fees that added up to $100 without ever looking like $100 in any single moment. That spending wasn't wrong. It bought real things that ended the moment they happened. A workout, a show, a meal. Gone as soon as they were finished. Asking nothing further of you. Giving nothing further back. This $100 asked the same of you every month. The difference is what it did with it. One version of $100 a month produced things that were over by the time the next bill came. The other produced a structure that's still standing 10 years later, still growing, still capable of compounding further if you leave it alone for another decade. The money was the same amount, every single month. The only thing that changed was where it was allowed to go. You paid $100 a month before. This time, it's still here.